Hello, my name is Joseph Chapman, and my project is the Achnabreac Centre for Sustainable Forestry. The project is located in Argyll Bute, a region on the west coast of the Scottish Highlands. Before visiting the area last December, I read the Government Manifesto for Sustainability, which gave me the expectation of landscapes full of verdant, healthy forests. Unfortunately, the reality was far less encouraging. Vast swathes of barren farmland strangled small pockets of dilapidated woodland. Surprisingly, the tree cover within the project region is in fact significantly higher than the national average, although the timber produced by the three commercial forests is of exceptionally low quality. Achnabreac is the largest of these plantations and is the focus of the project. It was chosen due to its unique position at the junction of the Moyne Nature Reserve and the town of Loch Gilphead. Achnabreac itself is frequently visited throughout the year by both local residents and tourists, who are commonly drawn to the forest by the historical petroglyphs and forest trails. This model was made to better understand the topography and articulates the relationship Achnabreac has with the rest of the area. It also pinpoints the location of the project site, which, like the rest of the forest, is accessed via the A816, the arterial road that connects Oban in the north to Glasgow in the south. Currently, most of Scotland's forests are planted as dense monocultures of Sitka spruce. This produces high quantities of low-quality timber and devastates the biodiversity of the area. Short harvesting cycles also lead to low amounts of sequestered CO2. By introducing 3 additional species which thrive in Scotland's oceanic climate, Achnabreac could become a sustainable pioneer, simultaneously increasing both the ecological and commercial prosperity of the forest. The higher quality timber that comes from such a forest presents a novel opportunity for Scotland to invest in mass timber production. This technology is being looked to as a way of minimising the embodied carbon within our structures. The project aims to use this as a catalyst for a design proposal that addresses each of these 4 key themes. In terms of feasibility, the proposal is practically grounded, placing an emphasis on ensuring high-quality experiences for users without compromising the environmental ethos underpinning the project. An illustrated brief was designed collaboratively with the project's hypothetical client, the Achnabreac Forestry Consortium, or AFC for short. It includes a comprehensive overview of all 8 programs within the scheme, outlining their purposes, architectural languages, pragmatic logistics, and a concise set of design principles. This formed the foundation for an initial volumetric arrangement, which would later be developed and tested in the context. The site is an active timber storage yard that sits at the entrance of the forest and is currently owned by a private forestry company. AFC intends to purchase this land along with the forest, developing it to achieve their vision. Upon visiting the site, I observed several sporadically placed industrial buildings and a large amount of artificial land dedicated to little more than storing forestry trucks. A logical first step seemed to be a consolidation of these buildings' functions into a single footprint, reducing the architecture's impact on the site. Then, with more space to breathe, the forest could be reintegrated up to the building's envelope. The footprint of the building is driven by the spatial requirements of a laminated timber production line, which is housed on the ground floor. Additional programs are stacked above the storage and utility spaces that demand little to no natural light, thus further minimising the impact on the site. Finally, the building's orientation skews, conforming to the topography of the landscape. These principles were then iteratively tested, experimenting with what the site had to offer, whilst measuring each result against a consistent set of criteria unique to the project's location and programme. An option was then selected due to its ability to achieve ideal solar exposure whilst delineating the once formal arrangement in a way that was respectful and symbiotic with the natural environment. After further iteration, a plan was devised which describes the evolved relationship between the architecture and the forest. Now, the site is accessed via an umbilical link bridge which connects the building to the existing car park and forest trails, whilst establishing a safe distance between pedestrians and forestry vehicles below. The following diagrams explain in broad terms how the programs are distributed within the building. Firstly, a 96 by 30 metre footprint houses the laminated timber production line, as well as storage and utility spaces. The public entrance is accessed via the umbilical link bridge. There is a ramp down to the ground level and a walkway above the perimeter of the make space. A mezzanine floor overlooks the learn and eat spaces below and is set back from the southern edge, allowing sunlight into the space. The 3rd floor oversails the spaces below, contrasting the public uses of the 1st and 2nd floors with AFC's headquarters above. A courtyard penetrates the centre of the 4th floor, allowing light to enter the office below. Finally, the gather and refuge spaces complete the building, wrapping around the courtyard to create single and double height spaces where required. The building is nested within the landscape to ensure the overall height of the structure echoes the surrounding trees, making the architecture more sympathetic to its context. A north-facing sawtooth roof tops the extruded volume of the makespace, establishing consistent natural light throughout the day, whereas the roof of the stack programs faces southwest. This optimises the harnessing of solar energy, floods the courtyard with natural light, and mimics the sloping topography of the site. This simple concept model explores the massing through more tactile means, further articulating the juxtaposing interaction between architecture and nature. These sketches develop this even further, beginning to consider how transparent surfaces could create granularity across the building's elevations, visually connecting the two contrasting realms. The ground floor is largely devoted to the makespace's production line, where the mass timber products are created. A semi-conditioned corridor runs the length of the extruded volume, creating opportunities for visitors to safely observe the activities inside whilst remaining intimately connected to the surrounding landscape. This journey is extended internally to form safe circulation routes around the space's perimeter, where visitors can be guided through the process of how a tree could become part of their new home. From within the timber workshop, the skewed orientation of the north-facing roof is mimicked by the dramatic mass timber beams sailing overhead. The main entrance is on the first floor, directly off the link bridge. The initial internal experience is conceptualised as an extension of the forest. Vertical timber louvers mimic the trees outside, whilst planted saplings offer engaging and tangible learning opportunities. Behind the Arboretum's green wall is a large amphitheatre, which plays host to public talks and film screenings. A publicly accessible walkway overlooks the makespace, allowing users to simultaneously experience timber in both natural and engineered states. The second floor focuses on providing a variety of high-quality educational facilities for local institutions and the public. Flexible collaboration spaces overlook the amphitheatre and arboretum, whilst more intimate areas for reading, computer work and seminars are positioned towards the northern edges of the plan. AFC's office establishes a new model for decentralised sustainable forest management, equipped with a range of working spaces that encourage diverse and innovative thinking. At the heart of these spaces is an open-air courtyard that fills the office with an uplifting and dynamic atmosphere. The remaining 2 floors wrap the juxtaposing scales of the gather and refuge programs around the courtyard below. Within the activity suite, users can do yoga, dance and work out amongst the diversified canopy of Achnabreac Forest. A large event space invites the community to enjoy music concerts and dance performances whilst marvelling at the expansive landscapes towards Moyne Moor. The event space is complete with a mezzanine floor which provides discreet egress for the users of a refuge programme. Each lodging is equipped with a private balcony that overlooks the forest. However, cooking and eating is facilitated through shared communal areas to improve the efficiency of the programme and encourage social interaction. Finally, the music practice space is conceived as a timber periscope that frames inspirational glimpses of Loch Gilphead and the Petroglyph Hill. Looking in section helps to summarise these seemingly conflicting scales and functions. Here we can see how the forest, as well as the building's timber-centric material palette, helps to unify the project into a cohesive whole. AFC's holistic approach to hedonistic sustainability means that local people can now gather, work and even sleep above an engineered timber production facility, all from within Achnabreac Forest. Zooming out allows us to see how the building sits within its context, as well as giving us a better understanding of how the site is arranged. After arriving to the site via the electric shuttle bus, visitors are given the opportunity to use the communal bikes to cycle along the umbilical link, or explore the forest trails at their own pace. Approaching on foot is also an option, immersing yourself between countless coniferous giants as you embark on a journey you're not entirely sure where will end. Eventually, you turn a corner and emerge from the forest, spotting a timber tower that rises from the earth to greet the trees. If you're more adventurous, you may choose to explore off the beaten path, returning to the centre when in need of food or refuge. Regardless of how you get there, the Achnabreac Centre for Sustainable Forestry is an experience you're unlikely to forget. After eating vegetables grown on the side of a building, or learning how trees can be transformed into sustainable homes of the future, and contemplating your relationship with nature. Thank you very much for listening.